Guess what? We're back with another episode of the DNA Atlanta Sports Talk Show. I'm Donnell Suggs, editor-in-chief of the Atlanta Voice, and
my name is Andrea Richmond, and I'm sports-y or otherwise.
And she's got a lot of otherwise because every time I call her, she's doing something else.
Busy, always busy.
This week wasn't as busy as last week, but there was a lot going on in sports. And if it's okay with you, I want to start with the Braves.
And you need to start with the Braves because you need to have a brave heart in order to deal with the tragic down streak they've been on lately.
It's been rough. It's been rough. And last night they were in Sacramento. It's weird to say Sacramento. The A's for everyone's entire life was in Oakland. Since Sacramento, didn't matter. Braves still lost.
I feel like historically the A's have just been a laughingstock of an organization. So in order to lose to them, it's really rough for the Braves, especially because there was a time a couple weeks ago where it looked like they were on an uptrend.
I mean, about a week and a half ago they were when they swept the Mets, and everybody was like, "Oh, they're back." Yeah. And then they lose series to Philadelphia, and then they lose series to the Los Angeles Angels. Then they get swept by the Baltimore Orioles, and then in the very next game you play, you lose 10-1 in Sacramento in a minor league baseball. It's been really bad. I'm not going to call last night rock bottom because it's halfway through the season. But if you had to have a rock bottom moment, it'd be losing 10-1 in Sacramento.
And if you don't have a wake up moment, I feel like this needs to be one. Obviously, Acuna is hurt, so obviously, like hopefully he'll be good by the time we go to the All-Star break. So you are missing a little bit of your fighting powder. But when it comes to just like pitching in general, Fuentes, unfortunately, a stinker.
What were you doing when you were 20 years old? When you were 20, only a month away from your 20th birthday, you were 20 years old, brand new. What were you doing in the world? Were thousands of people watching you do something?
I was in college, and trust me, I hope that thousands of people weren't watching me.
I can tell you. I can tell you I was in school in Philadelphia, and there wasn't 4 people watching me do anything because no one cared. And it was cool because I could make mistakes. This kid's young. He's young. He's so young, and I'm glad he got a taste. And got some per diem, put a little money in his pocket.
Oh, yeah.
But he needs to be pitching in Gwinnett.
Yeah.
He needs to be pitching in Gwinnett.
Yeah.
He's getting blasted.
It's your first time opportunity. It's, first couple, you got to shake off a little bit of the rust. But it's just unfortunate that it would come like this in such a big onslaught and in a team that you would hope would flash. But right now it's miserable for the Braves fan base. I know you're recently on a radio show to talk about the Braves.
Yeah, up in Tennessee, Braves, they call it Braves country, a whole bunch of different states that don't have any major league teams that kind of glob onto the Braves, and I'm kind of their eyes and ears down here. Yeah, and they had me on. Shout out to Main Street News in Nashville, and they had me on and saying, "Hey, what's the problem? What's going on?" And I'm like, guys, you know that this franchise since '91 has been one of the most winningest franchises in the history of Major League Baseball.
Oh yeah,
and so when there's down times, it's like everyone knows
the world is shaking.
Everybody, trade Acuna. Trade everybody. Trade the stadium.
Trade the world. No, get rid of the hitting coach, the pitching coach. Get rid of everything.
Trade I-75. I say, wait, guys, you've been good a lot. So you're bad right now.
Yeah.
You're bad.
And honestly, you would think that if with Atlanta fans being Atlanta fans, they were used to it. But that's a good thing about the Braves. It represents so many different fan bases.
It does, a ton.
And I want to ask you, what were their reaction and vibes based off this season? Because, that's another fan base in an area that doesn't have a lot of professional teams. So the Braves are really one of
That's their baseball team. They got Nashville hockey. They got football, obviously. Braves are their baseball team, and they're panicking because they're like, when people from Nashville plan to come down here for a game, it's a vacation. Yeah. They're coming down for 2 or 3. They're staying at the local hotels. It's a thing. And when you're not good, it's like, man, why do we spend this money to come down here? Luckily, the attendance has been great. There was a ton of sellouts. Now, the Yankees are coming in town after the All-Star break. It doesn't matter how well you're playing. The Yankees are bringing a ton of fans. Oh, yeah. The very next series is San Francisco Giants. They bring a ton of fans. So the people will be there. So worst case scenario, ain't nobody losing no money.
Yeah.
They're losing a lot of baseball games, though.
But they'll lose their minds when,
it's getting bad.
Aren't performing well.
It's getting bad.
I just want to shout out to Lawrence Butler, Atlanta local.
Westlake High School.
And you could tell the tone of the game by getting in inside the field.
Yeah, he was booking it, man.
He was booking it, doing his thing. But Westlake High School is cool because we just mentioned the fact, we just had
AJ Terrell Day.
So
that's so dope.
They've been doing their thing, man. It's nice to see.
Cam Newton's an alum. Yeah, that's really cool for the high school. And it's really good. He's a really good player. We would love to have him here, but he got drafted really high. The Braves were playing well when he got drafted 3 years ago. Guy makes the majors in a year and a half, and he's a starter now.
Yeah.
You're not going to get a guy like that cheap. You're just not. So shout out to Lawrence Butler and his people, but he's not leaving. They're going to Vegas next year. He'll be there. He'll be in Vegas.
Still here.
But with that said, baseball, the Atlanta Braves baseball is bad, but what's coming to Atlanta is All-Star Weekend. Major League Baseball All-Star Weekend is here. And that's cool because now you're getting the best of the best. So there's only 3 Braves on the roster.
And I can't believe you mentioned this like a couple weeks ago, that this is the first time in 24 years?
20 years. Year 2000 was right down the street from here at Fulton County Stadium.
And I think that's crazy for it to take that long for Atlanta to have an all-star game. Obviously, the Hawks had theirs a couple years ago. Yeah. It was COVID, though, so that was a little bit like...
Kind of messed it up a little bit.
Yeah, it kilter. But... for any sport, right? Any region, Atlanta is the place to be. So it's nice that we're going to have an infusion of all-stars here.
It's going to be wonderful. And what I really like about it is there's so many different activations around the city.
Yeah.
There's going to be a Celebrity Home Run Derby X on Sunday at Georgia Tech.
I can't wait to.
That's going to be super fun. That's going to be super fun. Then you have just a fan fest of Cobb Galleria, which I would never go to Cobb Galleria Mall to do anything. But I am now because I think it's free.
Yeah.
That's free. So that's cool. But what I'm really excited about, and I think our interns are really excited about, is the HBCU Swingman Classic is going to be at Turner, almost called it Turner Field, Truist Park. And that's cool.
Shout out to my Spellman sister, obviously. Go Spellman.
Yes. And there's a Morehouse player on the roster, but he's got one.
And that's great, too.
That's really cool.
HBCU love, AUC love in particular. It's so nice and you mentioned this earlier, and I also, I played in the HBCU marching band, so I've been with the football field while they played in Brown Stadium. And it was really cool, a cool experience to play in from. You're used to playing in such small venues sometimes. So it's cool to have in such a big venue.
Oh, absolutely. With the world watching.
And the world watching. It's so cool. You get better opportunities. You get better insight. And hopefully this is how players get scouted from.
Yeah, for a lot of these young men, they're playing in Grambling, Southern.
Yeah.
Especially, let's just say Morehouse for that matter.
Yeah.
Morehouse baseball plays on Peckerson Park. With all due respect, unless you're some phenomenally out of this world prospect, there's no major league scouts at Peckerson Park on a Wednesday in May. So I get a chance to play here, and maybe you can find me like that.
Yeah.
So that's really cool because the draft is on Sunday. The MLB draft is on Sunday, so you never know. There's still a chance in 7 rounds. Somebody says, I like that kid I saw the other day.
Yeah.
I'll give him a shot.
Every opportunity is a good opportunity.
100%.
Love to see, and it doesn't matter whichever sport, there's been more of an emphasis to get HBCU students
100%.
more involved and more noticed in the world. So I can't wait until we actually start these activations keep on going and
keep
get
on
a little
more
bit
and
more
more
steam behind it, because we're going to see some players actually rise above the rankings. And
for sure.
They're for sure start because of things.
Yes, and shout out to Clark Atlanta's band. I apologize for not knowing exactly the name of the band, but the band will be playing as well.
The March.
Ludacris and Jermaine Dupri, they're probably gonna play "Welcome to Atlanta" because we're corny like that.
Yeah.
But either way, they'll be there. But the band will be there, and that's good for those kids.
Yeah.
To be able to do that when it's not a non-football situation. So it's just good. It's just good news all around.
Good news all around, which is good because Atlanta could use some good news right now, because there's only one team that I feel like is really hitting
and playing to their caliber.
And it's none other than the Atlanta
We're right back to the dream saving everything again.
Oh my gosh.
Which I'm happy about.
Putting the team on their backs, which is good. A tough loss that they encountered against Seattle Storm.
It's just hard to play them. The Storm is good on the road. They're good away. It's a good team.
Yeah, and they're one of those teams that they can win, they can lose to anybody, but they can sure as heck beat anybody.
When they're on, they're on.
And Skylar Diggins went ahead and did her thing, scoring a last second bucket. Neka Gumake was great, but after the Storm lost that, they went ahead, despite the fact the Valkyries were shooting from deep.
Golden State.
Man, they went ahead and they won the game, which is good because Atlanta's had some issues closing out games as of late.
And they need to get it together because guess what? They're playing the Fever again.
Oh my God.
On Friday. I think they played 25 times.
I feel like every time we come into the studio, we
talk about it.
Who are they playing against?
The Fever.
It's the Fever.
Fever's involved.
Single time we're in this.
Well, they're going to play on Friday in Indiana, so that's always a tough place to play. So we'll see how that works out.
And Caitlin will be back. She has been struggling with her injuries as of late, and I did not. There wasn't an early game. Shout out to Camp Day, so I'll see how she did in the splits when it comes to that.
Right.
But she has been trying to get back into shape, so hopefully we don't see a fully recovered her, because that would make things a little bit harder. But either way, the Fever are cooking, so hopefully Atlanta can close out some games.
It'd be nice to do that late in the season. You don't want them to start falling and sliding a little bit. Dream look like they're gonna be a problem in the playoffs.
Yeah, no, as long as they can keep their perimeter defense good, which we have a lot of good perimeter defenders. It's just about keeping consistent.
I forgot how good Jordan Canada was, man. Jordan Canada's nice.
Oh, Canada!
I forgot.
She's very good. Like I said, she is. Every team really needs a point guard. I feel like, especially in the WNBA, there's not enough point guards who are really pure point guards.
Yeah, she's a pure point guard for sure.
So it's nice to have a pure point guard with as many options, shooting options as we have, because we
need somebody. We have scorers. You need somebody to get the ball around, and she's really good at that. So I'm happy to see. I love watching her play. I always did, but I forgot. And then when she's back, everything changes.
Everything changes. You have Nas Hamilton, which is the reason why we won against the Valkyries, doing her thing, clutch defensive possessions at the end of the game. She missed some good threes, which was not always her game. So
it's not.
Shout out to Smesco Ball. We're shooting threes.
He wants everybody to shoot.
Yeah, everybody.
Smesco's like, take a shot.
And you know what? Bree Jones, shout out to Ryan Howard for going ahead and making the All-Star games.
Yeah, for sure.
Atlanta players making the All-Star game.
Yeah, we should have two at least.
But Bree Jones,
I don't know how she's the glue.
She is the glue.
Brianna Jones is the glue to this team.
And she's underappreciated, underrated, but guess what? She felt that spite in her heart because she hooped.
She had a double-double the other day, too. Yeah, she's good for that.
She's good for that.
All right, so we started with the Braves, which is kind of negative. Then we got positive with the HBCUs. We got positive with the Dream, but here we go again. I'm going to bring the vibe down some. Atlanta Falcons backup quarterback Kirk Cousins is in the news again. And it's not for training camp. It's not because of his attitude change. It's because he is one of the 3 quarterbacks featured in the NFL Films documentary Quarterback, which is very good. It's on Netflix. Yeah. It's very good. Problem is, this just brings back up some sore wounds with the fact that he was hurt and didn't say anything.
Yeah, and you know, it was a rough year. This is always going to be an interesting look as a documentary because we know all the issues.
We know what happened. We know what happened.
Coming off the Achilles, he looked terrible. Looked like he was coming 40-year-old coming up in the team.
But don't forget, the Falcons were 6-3 after 9 weeks.
Yeah, you know.
Everybody was thinking it was going to work.
Hoping he got into a groove. Things are looking well. And then you said, too, like he said during a documentary, he ended up getting...
I got hit in the Saints game on my shoulder, and I was hurt. I'm like, he said that? I can't believe he said that.
Can you say that to the coaching staff?
No, I'm just going to tell this documentary film crew, because I know these guys from the first film. I mean, he was a star. He was the breakout star from the first one.
And you know what?
They loved his family and his attitude, and he's so positive. They love this guy. So you figured, I'm comfortable with these guys. I'm telling them, man, I didn't feel right. My shoulder was killing me. I couldn't even sit still on the plane at home when we were going home. That's how bad I was hurt.
Wow.
I didn't want to tell anyone because you guys just spent a first-round pick on a quarterback. I don't want to lose my job. Raise your hand if you want to lose your job. Nobody wants to raise their hand. I'm not. I don't want to say that. I want to be here.
I want to be here. Okay,
I want to be here.
Please. And you know what? I was going to bring up, nobody knows the pain of earning your start, I guess. Somebody losing their
to a younger guy.
Then Kirk Cousins.
A rookie.
Kirk Cousins took it away from RG3 back when he was in Washington.
And he got in. He never stopped starting again.
And he never stopped starting
again. He knows.
So he knows personally because he benefited. He knew that Michael Penix could benefit.
There's potential for that. And it was selfish.
And guess what? Unfortunately, the selfishness, not only is he sitting on the bench, but another team is going to pick him up, especially with that hefty
$50 million guaranteed. Now, Falcons will have to pick up a lot of that. You just can't just give it. You can't pass.
No.
Only a fool would say, I'll just take all of it. So you have to pick up a lot of that. And so far, it's been, no, he's the backup quarterback. He's cool. Just sit here. And, I mean, you filmed that last year. What do you want to do? Somebody is in the can now. I can't take it back. I can't take it back.
You can't take it back. And that's one thing. It's not like the NBA where players or teams are more likely to give up their draft picks or their players. You have to eat a lot of that money.
You need a ton of that money.
You have to get something in return, some picks. And what team is going to go ahead and give picks to an aging player like Kirk Cousins?
You're not. And I'm not bailing you out. I'm not going to take your $50 million quarterback off your hands. No, you sit with it.
And Kirk isn't like, he's had some moments where he's been been good. And I shout out to him, like his last season with the Vikings. It looked like he has a little bit of an MVP kind of.
He was high, yeah, man. At one point, they were undefeated. He looked really good.
He looked really good, but this is a quarterback who's for years has been fighting how good is he really, and so for you to get injured on top of that, and for another player to come and take their place,
I ain't getting up my job.
It's unfortunate, but
he's getting killed on local radio. He's getting killed. They're killing him. It's like 3 days in a row we've been talking about this guy. That's what I said. So it's just fresh. So they just broke out old material, and then we got some new material on top of it. He's been getting killed. And listen, nicest guy in the world, too. Yeah. Super nice after the games.
Kirko Bangs.
You know what I mean? Everyone loves him. But the fact of the matter is, you didn't play well, and you could have said, hey, guys, I'm hurt. Give me a couple weeks so I'll let the kid play. So we, because I understand my position as a quarterback. But he's like, no, I'm not saying nothing.
And guess what? That ended up being his downfall. Sometimes I feel like as athletes, you got to know when. And unfortunately, he didn't know when. So unfortunately, this might be the rest of his career.
Right? I think the saddest part is I'm agreeing with you, but I think he did know when and didn't want to say.
Yeah.
Which is worse.
Yeah.
Which is worse. I just don't. If I don't say anything, I am the starting quarterback. They pay me a lot of money. If I don't say anything, they won't say anything.
Yep.
And they get out there and throw 5 picks.
Oh,
maybe I had a bad game.
Yeah, exactly. Then it's just you.
There was
instead of the
shoulder. It was just me. I had a bad game. Eventually, it was like, no.
Keep on stacking those.
It's a lot of bad games.
We're going to go ahead and choose number 9, who, shout out, is obvious. Right now we're recording it. It's July 9th, so 7-9 day.
7-9.
Our
lefties,
black lefties.
I love it.
I love it.
And the city's happy and they're excited. There's a buzz around the Falcons, so that's cool. I'm gonna be up at training camp in a couple of weeks. So it'll be nice to see him out there throwing it around and being the focal point.
Yeah,
that'd be good for Michael. He's from a really good family, really good dude. So I'm happy for him. It's just I hate that the Falcons news always keeps it being about stuff that has nothing to do with football.
No, it's always something dramatic. When can Atlanta sports just be about Atlanta sports?
When can Atlanta not be in nobody's drama? But it seems like
we're a city of celebrity, I guess.
For real. Fake or real?
Fake or real. A lot of fake.
But to close, I definitely want to jump back into the fact that the HBCU Swingman Classic is not free, but the tickets are not super expensive.
Yeah.
It's on a Friday. It's at 7 o'clock. It's not super late. I really want people to come out to that. Those kids deserve to play in front of, no, it's not going to be 35,000 people. Okay. But they need to play in front of some cool crowds. This is a cool moment for a lot of these young players that are coming from HBCUs from all over the country.
And all you really need is an opportunity, a chance, somebody to see you. So I'll be glad if the whole city can go ahead.
I would love that.
See them too, because it's not just scouts that you want to hear your name or see you. It actually makes a difference wise when you have the whole crowd, the whole stadium, people to perform for.
Some of the players there are from Atlanta, but play, let's say, for example, at Southern University. My mom's not flying down to see baseball games in the middle of the year.
No.
But now she can get a couple tickets, and now she can see me playing in Truist Park. Imagine that. Yeah. That's all my high school friends, or my high school coach, or that's gonna be a really cool moment for a lot of dudes, man. Yeah, it is. So we'll be there. We're gonna get complete coverage. We're gonna have Grace and Kennedy with me covering that. They got their own thing though, but I'm gonna be babysitting anyway, just in case. They're from Philly and Detroit. I love saying that. And we're just gonna cover that. We're gonna surround that coverage. I want the Atlanta Voice to cover that even more than we cover the All-Star game on Tuesday. You know what I mean? I mean that's a black college baseball All-Star game.
And these players deserve it.
They deserve it.
Unfortunately, some of the other coverage won't be on them. It'll be on all the glitz and glam of the weekend. So
of course,
this is our glitz and glam.
This is our glitz and glam.
A black newspaper supporting black athletes doing their thing and hopefully getting to the next level.
So please go on AtlantaVoice.com and look for our coverage in sports. We're gonna have a bunch of stuff on social media. The Atlanta Voice. I have a TikTok now.
Ooh, I did see. I posted the stories.
I tagged you on one. I have a TikTok. I'm like 48 years old almost. I got a TikTok.
We need to do an I'm so ATL trick going on here.
Nah.
We need to get him dancing. It's okay. Me and interns will convince him.
If you give me, you must be, that'll be that. There's a video. There's your show. This is how we end the show. Me talking about dancing on TikTok. So until next time, I'm Donnell Suggs, editor-in-chief of the Atlanta Voice.
And I'm Andrea, Richmond, esports and otherwise.
My TikTok producer. And we'll see y'all next week.
See ya.